ist alles echt heiß. Die große Zeit ist jetzt angebrochen. Deutschland ist nun erwacht. Die Macht haben wir nun in Deutschland gewonnen. Nun gilt es, das deutsche Volk zu gewinnen.
Tonight's worst persons in the world, the bronze Bret Stephens of the Wall Street Journal, trying to extend the right's belief it has found the holy grail in these emails stolen from climate change experts. It's holy something. He employs the classic ploy, I'm not saying what I'm obviously saying, but that those who acknowledge climate change have, quote, what I would call the totalitarian impulse. This is not to say that global warming true believers are closet Stalinists, but their intellectual methods are instructively similar. For the anti-Semite, the problems of the world can invariably be ascribed to the Jews. For the communist, he writes, to the capitalist. And as the list above suggests, global warming has become the fill-in-the-blank explanation for what happens to be the problem. No, I'm not saying Mr. Stephens is an intellectual midget who has prostituted himself out to Rupert Murdoch, will do anything to defend big polluters and whose myopia could lead to the destruction of the atmosphere. I'm just saying the runner-up, the fine folks at Cluster Fox and Friends, again, a poll from the right-wing manipulated Rasmussen reports it wasn't good enough for them. Did scientists falsify research to support their own theories on global warming? 59% somewhat likely, 35% very likely, 26% not very likely. That'd be 120% who believe it's possible. 94% of whom believe it's somewhat or very likely. So this poll question follow-up, does Fox falsify the news to support their own theories on everything? 100% of respondents were unable to stop laughing long enough to answer. Non-exhaustive list from the Media Matters website details dozens of instances, including October 1st, America's Newsroom co-host Bill Hemmer advanced a smear that the Department of Education's Safe Schools advisor knew of statutory rape but never reported it. May 6th, America's Newsroom pushed the falsehood that Democrats tried to protect pedophiles by voting in favor of a local law enforcement hate crimes prevention act. April 23rd, Mr. Hemmer claims to keep track of the stimulus money, but in fact was using research lifted almost verbatim from the website of House Republican Whip Eric Cantor. April 15th, America's Newsroom promoted Tea Party organizing on air and online, frequently posting specific information and directing viewers to its website with a list of protest sites. Other examples offered by Media Matters are from Fox's Happening Now, Live Desk, Special Report, and the broadcast network's imitation of an actual Sunday news show like Meet the Press, which it calls Fox News Sunday.
Barack Obama was raised a Muslim.
Apparently, when he was a young boy, he attended a Muslim school, a madrasa.
Barack Obama's agenda towards socialism.
We're starting to look at fascism closer to communism.
This president, I think, has exposed himself as a guy over and over and over again who has a deep-seated hatred for white people.
At a Heritage Foundation luncheon today, he had this to say about you.
Oh, dear. I mean, here's a couple of sick puppies.
Quote, "I've grown to like that gal. She thinks she's saying such hateful things about me, but they're all true. The things she says she doesn't like are contrary to the beliefs of 90% of the people of America." Very, very interesting. You know, for one, he likes you. He calls you gal.
Yeah,
and the second thing we learned is that he believes that 90% of America is with him on the issues. Now, what about when he says things like this?
It's not whether or not we're going through a global warming period. We're not now.
Except the United Nations Weather Agency said this decade is on track to be the hottest since the record started in 1850, and that 2009 is the 5th warmest year ever. And according to a Washington Post ABC News poll, 72% of Americans think global warming, yeah, it is happening. Except the United Nations Weather Agency said this decade is on track to be the hottest since the record started in 1850, and that 2009 is the 5th warmest year ever. And according to a Washington Post ABC News poll, 72% of Americans think global warming, yeah, it is happening. Well, maybe 90% agree with Senator Inhofe on something else.
There's never been a documented case of torture in Guantanamo. This is all a fabrication of the terrorists and those individuals in the Middle East who try to make it look like we're torturing people.
Senator Inhofe should add this to the reading list on the non-terrorist authored report by the International Committee of the Red Cross on the treatment of 14 high-value detainees in CIA custody. Just, you know, he could do that.
I love that he thinks that 90% of people, he's glad that we're talking about his record because 90% of people are going to agree with him.
Yeah.
I mean, I do feel bad that he thinks that I'm trying to be hateful. I mean, I think we're just trying to show what Senator Inhofe thinks about the world. And it is nice that we're not actually having a disagreement about the facts. We all agree about the facts of his record.
Right,
it's just that he thinks when the facts of his record, when his positions on things are promoted to the country, it'll be awesome for him politically because everybody agrees with him.
Right.
Whereas I believe that telling the facts of his record to the country will be not so awesome for him politically.
Less awesome.
Less awesome.
He still likes you, though.
I would call him gal back, but after that last segment, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble. Thank you very much, Dan. Really appreciate it.